Okay, so in today's video, I am going to be doing a 2026 bingo card, I guess you'd call it. I feel like that's what everybody else is calling it. But yeah, just like an inspirational board for the rest of the year, I guess. So yeah, if you want to see what I put on mine, then keep on watching.
Okay, so I first of all started by actually just drawing out the grid completely off camera because I had a frame for this already. I already knew that I wanted to use, but it wasn't like a standard paper size or anything. I don't actually know what size it is. I want to say like 8 by 10 maybe, but I think that honestly might be a complete lie. Um, I'm not sure. Essentially, it's not a standard paper size. So you'll obviously be able to see that I used a bit of A3 paper from a sketchbook, and I just drew out the guidelines of how big the frame or how big the piece of paper needed to be for the frame, and then left I think it's like a one centimeter maybe, I'm not sure, gap all the way around, so that it would fit in the frame properly, and then I obviously had to equally space out all of the boxes, decide how many boxes I wanted, obviously make sure that there's an odd amount going across so that I could have that middle section. And yeah, it took a little while to figure out, but once I had figured it out, it looked absolutely fine. So I think in the end we went with 25 boxes, or is there? Yeah, five. I'm just looking at it now. 5 across and 5 down, so yeah, 25. And then obviously I've just put the 2026 in the middle. I've seen loads of other people do this and they make it a little bit smaller and have like 2026 bingo card written at the top, but I didn't really want to have that. I just wanted like the whole thing to just be like goals for the year, so that is obviously what I went for. But it really wasn't that difficult to figure out. It was just sort of a case of figuring out the like maths to make it even, which is just a little bit time consuming, and obviously figuring out exactly how many boxes I actually wanted and what sort of size I wanted them to be. But yeah, it wasn't too difficult at all. So actually moving on to the goals, obviously I've already done one, and my first goal that I wrote on there was to hit 500 subscribers. So I don't know if this, I feel like it's a little bit ambitious. I mean, we're halfway there, essentially, halfway there. But yeah, I have challenged myself to really work on my content this year, and yeah, hopefully build a little bit more of a following. So yeah, that is my sort of YouTube goal for this year. um Obviously, I also just want to say, obviously you can see that I've coloured in the play button brown. I kind of wanted to keep with sort of like neutral tones like pinks and purples. Just, I don't know, I didn't want it to be really bright and really colourful. I just wanted it to kind of, yeah, I don't know, I wanted it to kind of blend in a little bit, which is why the play button was done brown. So yeah, that's the reason for that. And the second goal that I went with is to sleep better. If anybody actually knows me, they know that honestly, the one thing to know about me is that I don't sleep. Like, when I say I don't sleep, I mean I don't sleep. Like, I will literally be up working until like 5, 6 in the morning, and then set an alarm for 10 o'clock, and that'll be it. I'll wake up, and like that's on like weekends. During the week, when I'm waking up at like 7 o'clock for work, I mean, this past week alone, there's been 2 days when I've gone to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and then got up at 7:30 for work. So when I say I don't sleep, I really, really mean it. And this is a really important one that, to be honest, I've struggled with for quite some time, probably since I was about 16, and I'm 21 now. So yeah, quite a while. So I want this year to be the year that I focus on my health, focus on me, essentially. So yeah, sleeping better is a massive part of that. I feel like once I start sleeping better, I'll start feeling better. Mentally, I'll be better. Physically, I'll be better. So yeah, that was the second one. The third one you would have seen is down in the right hand corner, and that is simply to love myself. I feel like past 3 or so years, I've kind of lost myself a little bit. Being in a relationship for those last 3 years, that I lost myself in. Um, yeah, I feel like that definitely happened. So this year, now that I am single, I feel like this is my year for self growth, and yeah, to just to focus on me and getting myself better and back to where I was before, and yeah, even better than I've ever been before. So that is one that I put on there, and I feel like that's something that everyone should work on a little bit. I feel like there is always more room for self love. Um, Next one that I did was to save 5k. That's a pretty standard one. I mean, I feel like everybody always has money goals, but yeah, save 5k is essentially a pretty standard one that's obviously pretty self-explanatory. The next one that I did was to visit New Zealand. So I actually have family over in New Zealand, so I really want to go over. They've been over a couple of times in the past 2 years, and it's so hard, like being away from them, like not even necessarily being away from them, but it not being easy to go and see them. Like I have family in London as well, which is a fair drive away from me. And that's fine. I'll get in the car on the weekend and I'll go down and see them. But obviously, going to New Zealand, that's like a 23-hour flight, so it's a little bit different. So yeah, I would really like to go to New Zealand at the end of this year. Next one I did was to be debt free. I feel like a lot of people have this goal, but I was working on it quite hard last year. But this year I have everything planned out in a spreadsheet really, really meticulously. So by the middle of this year, yeah, I should, fingers crossed, be debt free, and then that will obviously free me up even more to work towards my savings goal. And I mean, my savings goal is 5 grand, but I'm really hoping that I will be able to save even more than that. So yeah, that's kind of my goal, a loose based goal. Yeah, they kind of obviously link into each other. The next one I did was just to draw more. I feel like I really enjoy doing it, but I don't actually do it that much. So yeah, I added that one in just as like a little kind of fun one. It's not necessarily one that I can track as such. I guess it's just whether or not I feel like I have done it as much as I hope to. But yeah, that was the next one. The one following that was to do the NC 500. So yeah, I want to do however long in Scotland doing the NC 500. So yeah, I mean, I just need to figure out who I'm going to go with and what car we're going to go in. But yeah, I would really love to do the NC 500 and see a little bit of Scotland. So that is sort of another travel goal, I guess. I have quite an ambitious travel goal, and then a bit more of a reasonable one. I feel like the NC 500 is something that definitely can be done. So yeah, that is something that I've wanted to do for quite a long time, to be fair. So I thought, why not have it be this year? We'll do it this year. Maybe I'll go for my birthday or something like that. So yeah, there was that one. The next one was a bit more of a broad one, just making time. That was weird. Making time for the things that I love. Yeah, like I say, a bit more of a broad one, but one that I think is really important. Similar to loving yourself and making time for other people, I feel like making time for yourself to do the things that you love is equally as important. Obviously, I've put the one on there to draw more, but there are other things that I like to do as well. So yeah, I just put that in there as kind of a broad one that just kind of a reminder to, I guess, stop putting so much pressure on myself and actually just relax sometimes instead of just working and that being it. So yeah, that's just sort of a reminder for that. And then the next one I did was to read one book a month. I used to read, when I was in school, I used to read so much. I would literally get through like 10, maybe even more books a week. Like it was insane how much I used to read, but I just don't really have time anymore. So again, kind of correlating back to the making time for things that I love, I want to make more time for it, but I didn't want to set like an outrageous goal of like read 50 books or something like that. Like that's like a book a week. Like the chances are I'm not going to be doing that. So I just wanted to make a little bit more of a lenient goal of reading one book a month. So yeah, that is kind of fitting in with my sort of self-care thing as well. I feel like that's something that can help you relax, and yeah, that is why I've put that in there. And then the next one that I did was to get a tattoo. So some of these are like things that are definitely going to happen anyway. Like for example, oh, I've missed one out. I missed out going to the theatre. Yeah, I missed that one out. So there's also one going to the theatre and then getting a tattoo, and then the one that I just did going to a concert. So all three of those things are already happening. So for the theatre, I have booked to go and see Kinky Boots. With Johannes from Strictly, so I'm really excited for that. I got those tickets for my birthday last year, and we're going in April time, whenever, sometime in April. So that will be good. And then my tattoo, I have booked in a whole day in February, so that will actually be happening quite soon. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what I'm getting yet, but I have a whole day booked, so probably quite a lot. Yeah, I just tend to kind of book days and then just go and do a whole day and just get as much done as I possibly can. And then in terms of concerts, at the moment I only have 2 booked. I feel like it's only 2. Yeah, I'm sure it's only 2. And they are literally a week apart from each other. So I am going to see UB40 on my birthday. It is actually on my birthday, so that's quite cool. So yeah, we're going to see UB40 then, and then a week after, or actually 6 days afterwards, I am taking my mum to go and see Take That. So yeah, I've got those 2 booked at the moment. Hopefully we'll get some more booked in. But yeah, at the moment that is all I've got. And then the next one that I did was finish my nail course. So yeah, I kind of do nails at the moment. But yeah, I'm also doing a course so that obviously I can be certified and have my certificates. So yeah, I want to get that finished. Again, that'll be something that definitely happens. And then the next one that I did was to take better care of my diabetes and have better diabetes management. That's something, again, that I've always kind of struggled with. For those of you that don't know, I am type 1 diabetic, and I have been for 10 years now, since I was 11. So yeah, this year will be my 11th year at the end of the year. So yeah, obviously being diabetic for 10 years, you'd have thought, oh shit, she's got a handle on this now. No, I don't. It's still something that I struggle with quite a lot. So yeah, something that I would really love to get a better handle on this year. So yeah, there's that one. And then the next one that I did was to fix my car. Again, that's something that's definitely happening because it's currently in the garage. This was one that I did not plan on putting on this board. But yeah, on the 6th, I think it was, yeah, the 6th of January, I actually managed to crash my car. So yeah, it was really icy and I just slid off of the road, literally like not even a minute away from where I work. So yeah, that was really annoying. And yeah, I did a fair bit of damage. Nothing too serious, just a little bit of like cosmetic work that needs doing. So yeah, that is obviously on there, fix my car. And then the next 2 that I did was one to run a 5k and the next one to run a 10k. So again, with my sort of self-care and self-love type of mission that I'm on this year, I've actually decided to get back into running. So I did run for a little while last year, but I kind of dipped in and out. I was really inconsistent with it. But yeah, I want to actually get more consistent with it this year and then actually sign up for and do a 5k and a 10k, which obviously doesn't necessarily seem like a lot to someone who actually runs. But as I don't actually run currently, I feel like starting off with a 5 and 10k will be fine. And then I'm hoping 2027 will possibly be my year for a half marathon. I didn't want to sort of like pressure myself into doing it this year, obviously, as I'm starting, not from beginner, but I'm going to kind of say from beginner, just because obviously with how inconsistent I was previously. But yeah, that is my goal, essentially, is to run a 5 and a 10k, and hopefully if I manage to do any more, that is just an extra bonus. So the next one I did was to build my dream wardrobe. So I have this thing with like constantly selling my clothes basically and not really replacing them. So I probably have a grand total of like 4 outfits I actually really like. So this year I want to actually build up a wardrobe that I actually love, like every single piece I love. So yeah, that is my next one. Then after that, I think I've missed another one again. Just seeing family more often. I feel like that's a pretty standard one. And then also sticking to a budget. Again, another sort of like not necessarily savings goal, but just sticking to a budget, not overspending, not spending money that I don't need to. Um, yeah, I just kind of want to stick to a budget that will obviously help me be debt free, and also with my savings goals that will help me save more than my 5k goal. So yeah, that was my next one. And then after that was going on a solo trip. Again, I feel like this is something that I feel like everybody should do at some point. So it kind of ties in with the one that I'm currently doing as well, making time for self-care. I feel like time on your own and time to just kind of sit and spend with yourself is as vitally important as spending it with other people. So yeah, that was both of those. And yeah, I hope that I'm able to do it this year. Whether I go abroad or stay in this country, I don't know, but that is what I want to do. And then my final one was to stick to a skincare routine. Pretty standard one, but it's something that I get really lazy with. And this year I really want to stick to it and really clear my skin up. And yeah, just again, similar with the self-love, I just want to, yeah, make it better, improve it, and yeah, stick to a skincare routine and sort my life out basically. So yeah, that was they are all of my goals essentially. So yeah, after I did this, I then cut it out and then put it in the frame.
So that was my 2026 bingo card. I guess this time in next year I will do my 2027 one and see what we actually managed to achieve from the 2026 one. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and come back in a year's time to see that. But yeah, also let me know down below what you put on yours, and yeah, what you're hoping to achieve for the next year. Yeah, other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.